right, YouTube, welcome to the video. So, a advocacy group is actually saying that the Democratic Socialist agenda is bad for blacks. It's time somebody said it because this is the one thing I think most blacks ignore is when you get down to the nuts and bolts of socialism, it has absolutely nothing to do with the black experience. And you saying, "Oh wow, what are you talking about? We're about community and family here in Black America." Yes, but that is not what socialism is about. Socialism is about a hierarchy, and blacks always finish last in any socialist hierarchy. We don't have any leg to stand on when it comes to a socialist agenda. So why are so many black people intrigued with the idea of joining the Democrats and voting more socialism in? Well, let's break that down in this video, guys. Now, let's go ahead and get to this part here. Darius Jones, who's the founder and executive of the National Black Empowerment Action Fund. So it says, what the DSA is pushing would hollow out everything generations of black New Yorkers fought to build: safe streets, strong schools, and most important, ownership of our future. Now, blacks don't realize this, but our most important ally is capitalism. When it comes to that, capitalism offers more equal opportunity than socialism ever could. And this is something that's gotten lost. Early black folks wanted nothing more but to own their own homes, own their futures, own everything they could because they inherently understood that ownership is how you got to have something. If it was up to a socialist agenda, a spread the wealth around agenda, well, we were going to be left out because we don't have enough generational wealth to sustain through any ups and downs that socialism inevitably is going to bring. So owning a little piece of something for us is far better than spreading the wealth around and throwing our lot in with everybody else. Because again, socialism is about hierarchy. It's not this circle, it's this ladder. And blacks are at the bottom of the ladder. And we just no getting around it. Economically, it's going to be generations before we could ever claim some sort of stake in benefiting from socialism. I wish more black YouTubers would talk about this. A lot of the black YouTubers I see are all for more socialism, more community, more communism. And we just believe somehow, I think it's just a conditioning that this is the way forward. And it really isn't. Blacks really don't agree on anything except voting Democrat. Now let that sink in, right? So let's get a little further. It says black New Yorkers and Americans refuse to be laboratories for a failed ideology and will defend their right to safety, to excellence, and to achievement on our own terms. Again, referencing ownership, because at the end of the day, blacks have forgotten this, but you just ask some of the biggest black moguls out there, ownership is going to get you more substantial wealth and generational growth than sharing things with others. Because as black folks, as soon as we're gone, whatever we brought to the table gets taken up the ladder. So there's nothing in it for us under this socialist regime. And Mamdani, if you listen to his victory speech the night of the election, he mentioned all sorts of immigrant groups, but one group was distinctly missing, and that's Black Americans. Yeah, he mentioned some immigrants, but he never mentioned foundational Black Americans, and that's because we're not included in this program of his. We're more like tag-alongs. We want to promote and fight for a socialist, a communist, probably because he's not Donald Trump. There's something to be said about an entire speech that never mentions you, even though you supported him along with everybody else. And I still see blacks supporting him. It says Jones previously served as the deputy national political director for New York City Mayor Mike Bloomberg, and was the African American constituent director for the American Israel Public Affairs Committee. So he comes with some bona fides. He's not just somebody out here making random statements on the internet. The National Black Action Fund is an issue-oriented advocacy group under the tax law, focuses on the DSA's agenda, and is careful not to mention Mamdani or any other candidate by name. But Mamdani is a DSA member, and the left-wing organization's support has been critical to his campaign. Now look what he calls the DSA: dangerous, senseless, and all wrong for blacks. The way we include ourselves in some of these causes, I think black people need to take a look at, Because are these groups actually reaching out to you? I think they've sensed it with the whole immigration thing. You see a lot of videos out there right now asking, why aren't blacks more involved with the ICE raids and supporting the Latin community when it comes to ICE and the illegal immigration and the sweeps? Well, I think it's because we inherently know that if the tables were turned, we wouldn't get that kind of support. And we also know, though we don't want to admit it, that this also helps blacks because there's less competition, there's less crime in the neighborhoods, because this is where the immigrants go. They go to the black neighborhood, and that's what socialism is. I mean, us being at the bottom of the pole, we're going to get the bottom of the barrel as well when it comes to immigrants. We're not going to get engineers and scientists into the black community. We're going to get the people running from the law. So again, we got to really understand what socialism has to offer, or should I say doesn't offer, to black America, and act accordingly. It goes on to say there's a leaflet. The leaflet warns DSA members have an extreme agenda and it's threatening the black community, adding that far left groups back releasing prisoners. We know that's bad. Violent criminals, dismantling the New York Police Department gang database, decriminalizing all drugs, including heroin and fentanyl. Again, without blacks having the financial structure to support this experimentation, only way to go is down. And it's time we realize that and stop putting ourselves as poster boys and girls for the Democrats. We know this too. We know that the Democratic Party only comes around for our vote at or near election day. They take a look at the polls, and if they're behind, that's when they make a get out the vote campaign to get the black American vote. Other than that, they don't really offer anything to black folks. It's just a generational attachment to the Democratic Party that goes back to the Voter Rights Act of 65, when FDR himself said, oh, I'm sorry, it was Lyndon B. Johnson who said, if we just get the blacks to vote for this, they'll be voting for us for the next 200 years. And I mean, no truer words have been spoken. We associate our voting rights with the Democratic Party, so therefore we owe our vote to the Democratic Party is how we look at it. And nothing could be further from the truth. And hopefully this video sheds a little bit of light on that and gets some people to start thinking about the socialist agenda and the Democratic Party and understanding that they do not work for you. They are not there to uplift you, black people. They are there to use you for your vote and to get you behind their numbers to help push forward their agenda. And that's about it. And this group is calling that out as clear as day. He says, we've all seen what drugs do to our family and what crack did to our neighborhoods and what opioids like fentanyl are doing now. He also says the DSA's idea of justice would bring the destruction back to our doorsteps and park it there. So we may not be able to get rid of it this time. And if it gets too far down the road, there won't be any coming back. We definitely have to pay attention to this democratic socialist angle that America seems to want to go down, or at least the left wing of it. Hopefully this doesn't catch on, because if it does, black folks are going to be in a lot of trouble. We don't seem too excited, too anxious to move away from the Democratic Party. Although Trump did make a lot of progress in getting black men, it's the sisters who still are hanging on to the Democratic Party for dear life. And, more's got to be made of their agenda. We really need to start looking into it and not just parrot their talking points, because you're putting yourself at direct risk of getting wiped out. He says he opposes charter school expansion and wants to phase out gifted and talented programs. So if our kids don't have a sense of pride, if they don't think that they're special in any way, yeah, that might work for the elitists, but the very thing that we need as black folks is confidence in our abilities and to understand what unique gifts we bring to the table. Socialism makes no room for that. And I know it feels safe, black folks, to be thought of as a community and a part of a larger group, but it's the exact opposite. If we don't get ourselves away from some of these elitist groups and start to forge our own future, which means paying close attention to when people are democratic socialists and want to spread the wealth around, then we're going to be in more trouble than we realize. And Kilgore also said this: the DSA wants to defund one of the only high-quality public schools we have access to and evict more than 130,000 black and brown children from those high-quality public schools. How is that even remotely progressive? And that's the question we need to ask ourselves. Are these people doing things that are actually, quote unquote, progressive, or just because they wear the name of democratic socialists, one automatically assumes that every idea they entertain has some sort of progressive, positive angle for everyone. And it's just not the case. So yeah, gang, this is something I just wanted to talk to you guys about. If you guys disagree, let me know in the comments below why you think that this article is way off. I'd love to hear your comments. But that's all I got on this one, guys. I'll see you all in the next video. And if you like this kind of honest, objective, and positive reporting and commentary, consider subscribing. I would love to have you on board. Well, that's all I got for this one, guys. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.